Hello and welcome to the Ensemble video training series. In this video, you'll learn how to use the Portal Text Editor Island. The Portal Text Editor Island, which is commonly referred to as just the PTE Island, is a simple, rich text editor that can be placed on your Portal pages. This island is a blank canvas for you to create, well, really anything. This island functions just like a Microsoft Word document, giving you the freedom to customize the island to be anything that you like. For example, you can type plain informative text, you can display an organized table of hyperlinks, you can upload some images, you can even directly insert documents from your Passageways document repository. The options are limitless with this island. Learning the basics of this island will be useful for more than just the PTE island. There are several other locations that this type of editor will appear in the portal. When creating announcements, for example, you'll use the same controls to create the content of the body for the announcement. Here we see an empty PTE island. Let's go ahead and get started with placing some content within it. The first thing we'll do is click the Actions button in the top right-hand corner, then select Edit PTE Content. This will bring us to the Edit screen where we are presented with several different buttons in the toolbar. If you don't happen to see all the options that we're showing here in this demonstration, you may be using the basic layout rather than the default layout, and you should be able to toggle between the two by using this drop-down menu. If you've used Microsoft Word recently, most of these buttons should look pretty familiar. We're not going to be explaining every single button here, but we'll go over each of the different sections and some of the more commonly used buttons. Here we have the editing toolbar. Copy, paste, undo, and redo are some of the most used buttons in this section. Copy and paste are used to easily duplicate content throughout the island. And undo and redo can be lifesavers. When you accidentally deleted that hyperlink that you probably shouldn't have, tap the undo button. Next is the media toolbar. The insert image button is the button that we'll need to place a photo inside our PTE island. Just by clicking this button, we'll be able to select a file from our computer, and click OK. After we've inserted a photo, we can edit any of its properties down below the content window when the image is selected. This is true for other items as well, such as videos or hyperlinks or tables. The properties of each one is displayed right here when we select the item in the window above. The Image Map Editor button is a really great way to turn parts of an image into a clickable hyperlink. With our image selected, we can click on this button and be taken to the screen where we can set all this up. And how we do that is select either rectangle or circle, and then click New Area. We can click and drag this anywhere around our image. So for instance, if I would like to have the Performance and Goals section right down here be a clickable link, I can move this down and then expand it to cover the entire button. Let's move this over just a little bit so I can grab this extra edge right here. There we go. Down here we can actually choose the pixel location and size if we know exactly where this is, but clicking and moving this around is going to change this as well. The URL link is where we type in where we want this to actually go. And this can be anything. This can be an external page. This can be an internal portal page. The target is where we would like this to open. So for instance, if we would like to have this open in a new window, we can click New Window, and then click Update Area. And we can do this as many times as we like, selecting our shape and our area, and cover all of these buttons in this image if we like. When we're finished creating the mappings, click OK. We now have clickable hyperlinks that are hidden inside these images. The Hyperlink Manager button is what we can use to insert clickable text that will take us to a new page. These links can be other pages within the portal, or it can be external web pages, just like how we chose before. We can type in our name. We can type in what we want the link to say. We can choose a target here as well. New window, for example. If we want to hover over a tooltip, we can apply that here. And when we're finished, click OK. This will insert that text right here. The next section is the alignment toolbar. These should all be pretty familiar. And with these buttons, we can align our content anywhere on the page. The list toolbar should also be pretty familiar. Using these buttons, we can create numbered or bulleted lists. The Insert Table button is really useful for organizing content on the page. We can create a new table by using the button and giving it a general shape. So if we want 3 columns and 3 rows, we can select this. Or for instance, if we want 2 rows and 5 columns, we can do this. Here's our new table, and placing content inside each of one of these cells will keep things organized within the Portal Text Editor island. Here is a toolbar where we can set the font and the style of any text that we've entered into the PTE island. The last 3 buttons here are part of the Passageways toolbar, and these buttons act similarly to the hyperlink button, but they create clickable links to very specific things. The first one being clickable links to other portal pages. The second button, inserting hyperlinks to user profiles. And the third one is used for inserting links to portal documents inside the Passageways document repository. Using the 2 buttons here, we can switch between the default view and the HTML editor view. If we have anybody in your organization who's HTML savvy, you can create and edit content directly from the HTML code. Save as draft can be used to temporarily store your unfinished work. If we click this button, our changes will be saved, but they will not yet be displayed on the island. This is useful if you need to change a large amount of content and can't finish it all in one sitting. This can also be used to make changes ahead of time so that they can quickly be made live whenever you choose. Now that our content is saved as a draft, whenever we attempt to edit this island again, so let's go back to our main page. Our draft is saved, so the island is not live just yet. And let's go ahead and edit our content again. The portal recognizes that there's a draft saved. It's going to ask us which one of these we want to edit. We can edit the draft, or we can edit the published version. Well, the published version is still pretty empty, so let's go ahead and click our draft. It's going to take us back to what we had previously saved. However, when we're finished making all of our changes and ready to make the content live, we can just click the Publish button. Each time a change is made and published, an entry in the history is created. This can be really useful for looking back at previous versions of the content of this island, especially if you may need to recover some of that information. Thank you for watching this video on the Portal Text Editor Island. To check out other videos just like this one, visit support.passageways.com to access the Passageways Support Center.